Hello children, happy morning to all. Today we are going to see an interesting lesson. Let us watch. Children, what do you think on seeing these pictures? I think we all can imagine our pet animals. Now it is your time to visualize the sweet memories with them. Can you all guess what is the lesson? Yeah, it is about the love and loyalty of your cute dog. The title of the lesson is The Envious Neighbor. It is a Japanese folk tale. Envious means jealous. Neighbor means a person who lives near to us. Envious na தமிழ்ல என்னது பொறாமை. Neighbor na பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்காரங்க. பொறாமை குணம் கொண்ட பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்காரங்க. Folk tale na நாட்டுப்புற கதை. Can you understand the title meaning? Children, we can see the characters of this story now. The first interesting character is an honest couple. Next, wicked couple. And then the prince, and finally our wonderful amazing hero, a little dog. Let us visualize the wondering qualities of this dog now. Students, can we see the gist of the story now? Once there lived an honest couple. They had a pet dog. They used to feed the dog with fish and tidbit from their kitchen. Near the house there lived a wicked couple. One day the good old couple went to garden to work. The dog went along with them. The dog stopped at a place and began to bark by wagging his tail. The couple thought that there must be something to eat, so they dug the ground using spade. But to their surprise, there was full of gold, silver and other precious things. The honest couple shared those precious things with poor people. They bought rice field and corn field for them and become rich. On hearing this news, the greedy couple came there and borrowed the dog. They prepared a great feast for the dog, but the dog did not eat anything. So the wicked couple tied a rope around the dog's neck and led him to the garden. The dog sniffed at a place. The stingy couple thought it was the lucky place and began to dig. But there was only dirty waste material. The wicked couple got angry, so they killed the dog and buried it under a pine tree. The dog appeared in the honest man's dream and asked him to cut the pine tree under which he was buried and make a mortar. The honest man did so. While pounding grain in that mortar, each grain turned into rich treasure. The wicked couple heard the news. They felt jealous. They came there and borrowed the mortar. They made a trial. They did not get anything, but they get only filth. They got angry. He broke the mortar and burnt it. Once again, the dog appeared in the honest man's dream. This time, the dog told him if he sprinkled the ashes of the burnt mortar over the withered trees, the trees would sprout and give flowers. So the good old man rushed to the neighbor's house and asked him for the ashes. Then the honest man followed the instruction of the dog and made trial on many withered trees. Trees got life and gave flowers. On seeing this wonder, Prince called him and rewarded him with silk cloth and other valuables. So they felt very happy. The wicked man went to the castle. He tried to do the same, but when he sprinkled the ashes, they flew into the prince's eyes and mouth. On seeing this, the gods beat the wicked man severely. Therefore, the wicked man returned home empty-handed. On hearing the sufferings of wicked couple, the honest couple called them. They counseled them. The honest couple shared their wealth with them. After this incident, the wicked couple realized their mistake and changed their attitude and lead a happy life. Children, are you clear with the story now? Shall we move to the text? Before going to the text, you refer the glossary for your better understanding. Children, shall we move to the text now? In the old days, there lived an honest man with his wife, who had a pet dog, which they used to feed with fish and tidbit from their own kitchen. One day, as the old folks went out to work in their garden, the dog went with them and began playing about. All of a sudden, the dog stopped short and began to bark, "Bow, wow, wow," wagging his tail violently. Once there lived an honest couple. Honest means truthful, நேர்மையான, உண்மையான. Couple means a pair. Here they say a husband and wife. They had a pet dog. Pet means favorite animals. நம்ம வீட்டில் நாய், பூனை, கோழி, ஆடு இதெல்லாம் வளர்த்துறோம்ல, அதை தான் நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்லுவோம், பெட் அனிமல். They used to feed the dog with fish and tidbit from their own kitchen. Tidbit means a small piece of tasty food. சுவையான சிறிதளவு உணவு. One day the couple went to the garden. The dog also went along with them and started playing there. After some time, the dog stopped at a place and started to bark like wow, wow. The dog started to wag its tail continuously. Children, we can move to next paragraph now. The old people thought that there must be something nice to eat under the ground. So they brought a spade and began digging, when lo and behold, the place was full of gold pieces and silver and all sorts of precious things which had been buried there. So they gathered the treasure and after giving alms to the poor, bought themselves rice fields and cornfields and became wealthy people. On seeing the dog's activity, the couple thought that there was something to eat under the ground. So they began to dig at that place using a spade. டிக்னா என்ன கண்ணு, குழி பறிக்கிறது. ஸ்பேட்னா என்னது, மண்வெட்டி. மண்வெட்டியை வச்சுட்டு நாய் குறைச்ச இடத்துல குழி பறிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. பட் டு their surprise, there was full of gold, silver and other precious things. ப்ரீசியஸ்னா என்னப்பா, விலை உயர்ந்த. அந்த குழி பறிச்ச இடத்துல கோல்டு, சில்வர்ஸ் அது மாதிரி நிறைய விலை உயர்ந்த பொருட்கள்லாம் இருந்துச்சு. They shared some treasure with poor people. They bought rice field and cornfield and become wealthy. அங்கே கிடைச்ச சில்வர் கோல்டு காயின்ஸை வச்சுட்டு அவங்களுக்கு தேவையான ரைஸ் ஃபீல்டும் கார்ன் ஃபீல்டும் வாங்கிட்டு பணக்காரங்களா ஆயிட்டாங்க. Now, in the neighboring house there dwelt a covetous and stingy old couple who, when they heard what had happened, came and borrowed the dog, and having taken him home, prepared a great feast for him, and said, "If you please, Mr. Dog, we should be much obliged to you if you would show us a place with plenty of money in it." Near the honest couple's house there dwelt a covetous and stingy old couple. Dweltனா எனக்கு என்ன? livedனா வாழ்றது. covetiousனா என்னது? greedy person, பேராசை கொண்டவர்கள். stingy என்ன? a person who is unwilling to spend money, காசு செலவு பண்ண தயங்குறவங்க, கஞ்சத்தனமானவங்கள தான் நம்ம stingyன்னு சொல்லுவோம். They heard the news about the dog's treasure. So they went to the neighbor's house and borrowed the dog. Borrowedனா என்னது? கடை வாங்குறது. They came home and prepared a great feast for the dog. feastனா எனக்கு அறுசுவை மிக்க உணவு. Then they are requesting the dog to show a place with huge money in it. The dog, however, who up to that time had received nothing but cuffs and kicks from his host, would not eat any of the dainties which they set before him. So the old people began to get cross, and putting a rope around the dog's neck, led him out into the garden. But it was all in vain. He let them lead him where they might. Not a sound would the dog utter. He had no bow-wow for them. At last, however, the dog stopped at a certain spot and began to sniff. So, thinking that this must surely be the lucky place, they dug and found nothing but a quantity of dirt and nasty offal over which they had to hold their noses. Furious at being disappointed, the wicked old couple seized the dog and killed him. Before this incident, the greedy couple used to beat the dog severely. Cuffs and kicks. Cuffsனா என்னப்பா? beating with hand. kicksனா beating with foot. கையில் அடிக்கிறதுக்கு பேர் cuffs, காலில் உதைக்கிறோம்ல அதுக்கு பேர் தான் kicks. So the dog refused to eat the dainties. daintiesனா என்னது? வெரைட்டி ஆஃப் ஃபுட்ஸ். அவங்க கொடுத்த எந்த சாப்பாடுமே டாக் சாப்பிடல. So the greedy couple tied a rope around the dog's neck and take him to the garden. But their efforts become vain. vain எனக்கான useless. டாக் எதுவுமே சாப்பிடாதனால அவங்க என்ன செஞ்சாங்க? டாகோட கழுத்துல ஒரு கயிறை கட்டி இழுத்துட்டு போனாங்க. அவங்க முயற்சி எல்லாமே என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு? தோல்வி அடைஞ்சிருச்சு. ஏன் தெரியுமா? The dog did not show any sound in the garden. Finally, the dog stopped at a place and began to sniff. sniffனா எனக்கு ஸ்மெல் பண்றது. டாக் செய்யலாம், அதுதான் sniff. The greedy couple thought that place as a lucky place and began to dig. digனா நம்ம முன்னாடியே பார்த்தோம். digனா என்னது? குழி பறிக்கிறது. But they found nothing, only dirt and nasty things. dirtனா என்னது? அழுக்கான. nasty thingsனா எனக்கு நாத்தம் பிடிச்ச பொருட்களை தான் அங்க பார்த்தாங்க. They are unable to tolerate the smell, so they hold their noses. The greedy couple got angry, so they killed the dog. When the good old man saw that the dog whom he had lent did not come home, he went next door to ask what had become of him. And the wicked old man answered that he had killed the dog and buried him at the root of a pine tree. So the good old fellow with a heavy heart went to the spot, and having set out a tray with delicate food, he burnt incense and adorned the grave with flowers as he shed tears over his lost pet. Children, this is pine tree. You can understand the shape. The good old man waited for the dog that he lent. லென்ட்னா என்ன கடன் கொடுக்கறது. போன பேராகிராஃபில் பார்த்தோமா, பாரோனா கடன் வாங்குறது, லென்ட்னா கடன் கொடுக்கறது. பாரோவோட ஆப்போசிட் தான் லென்ட். But it did not return. So he went to the greedy man's home and asked for the dog. The wicked old man replied that he had killed the dog and buried him at the root of a pine tree. விக்குடுனா என்னது? எவில் கேரக்டர்ஸ் தான் நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்லுவோம், விக்குடுன்னு சொல்லுவோம். இந்த கெட்ட குணம் உடைய இந்த ஓல்டு மேனை விக்குடு மேன் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. பரீடுனா புதைக்கிறது. எது கடியில் புதைச்சாங்க? பைன் ட்ரீ கடியில் அந்த நாயை புதைச்சாங்க. After hearing that, the old man was hurt too much. With a heavy heart, he went to the spot and decorated the grave with flowers, incense, and dog's favorite food. அந்த கேட்ட வேதனையோட அந்த மரத்துக்கடியில் போய் அந்த குட் ஓல்டு மேன் என்ன செய்கிறாங்க? நாய்க்கோட கிரேவில் ஃப்ளார்ஸு, ஊதுபத்திலாம் வச்சு, நாயோட ஃபேவரட் ஃபுட்டெல்லாம் வச்சு படைச்சி சாமி கும்பிட்டு அழுகுறாரு. புரியுதாப்பா? That night, when the good old man was fast asleep in bed, the dog appeared to him and, after thanking him for all his kindness, said, "Cause the pine tree under which I am buried to be cut down and made into a mortar, and use it, thinking of it as if it were myself." Children, what is said in this paragraph? The old man had a dream that night. The dog appeared in his dream. The dog thanked the good old man for his love and affection. The dog told the old man to cut the pine tree and make a mortar. மார்டர்னா என்ன கண்ணு? நம்ம வீட்டில் சட்னி ஆட்டை யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம்ல, உரல், அது பேர் தான் என்னது? மார்டர். The dog requested the old man to use the mortar as if it was the dog himself. Children, now view the picture of a mortar. Are you clear? Children, we move to next paragraph now. The old man did as the dog had told him to do and made a mortar out of the wood of the pine tree. But when he ground his rice in it, each grain of rice turned into some rich treasure. When the wicked old couple saw this, they came to borrow the mortar. But no sooner did they try to use it, all their rice turned into filth. So, in a fit of rage, they broke the mortar and burnt it. But the good old man, little suspecting that his precious mortar had been broken and burnt, wondered why his neighbors did not bring it back to him. Children, we can see the meaning of this paragraph now. The next day, the old man made a mortar from the wood of the pine tree. When he pounded the rice in it, each grain turned into rich treasure. பவுண்டுனா என்னப்பா? குத்துறது, நெல் குத்துறதுன்னு தமிழில் சொல்லுவாங்கள்ல, அதுதான். ட்ரெஷர்னா என்னது? புதையல். அந்த உரலில் போட்டு குத்தும்போது என்னாச்சு? ஒவ்வொரு அரிசியும் புதையலாம் அவங்களுக்கு மாறிடுச்சு. The wicked couple saw this. They came and borrowed it. They tried to use it, but their rice turned into filth. Filthனா என்னது? குப்பை. அவங்க ட்ரை பண்ணும்போது என்னவாயிருச்சு, எல்லாம் குப்பையா மாறி போச்சு. ஸோ தே காட் ரெக். ரெக்னா என்னது, ஆங்கர், கோபம்னு சொல்லுவோம். கோபத்தில் அவங்க என்ன செஞ்சாங்க, அந்த உரலை உடைச்சிட்டாங்க. உடைச்சதுக்கப்புறம் அதைய எரிச்சிட்டாங்க. The good old man suspected the wicked couple when they failed to return the mortar. குட் ஓல்டு மேனுக்கு சந்தேகம் வந்துருச்சு, இவங்க உரலை கொண்டு வந்து திருப்பி தரல, அப்போ உரலை ஏதோ செஞ்சுருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு சந்தேகம் வந்துருச்சு. One night, the dog appeared to him again in a dream and told him what had happened, adding that if he would take the ashes of the burnt mortar and sprinkle them on withered trees, the trees would revive and suddenly put out flowers. After saying this, the dream vanished, and the old man, who heard for the first time of the loss of his mortar, ran out weeping to the neighbor's house and begged them at any rate to give him back the ashes of his treasure. Students, we can see the meaning of this paragraph now. After that incident, once again the dog appeared in the old man's dream. Now the dog told the man everything, that the mortar was broken and burnt by the wicked couple. The dog informed the old man to take the ashes of the burnt mortar and sprinkle them on withered trees. Sprinkle என்ன, தூவுறது. Withered treeனா dry trees. அந்த ashes எடுத்துட்டு போய் காஞ்சி போன மரத்து மேலே தூவ சொல்லுது. If he did like this, the trees would get life and produce flowers immediately. After saying this, the dog disappeared from his dream. இப்படி செஞ்சிங்கன்னா என்ன ஆகும், காஞ்சி போன மரத்தில் இருந்து உடனே இலை வரும், பூ வரும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அந்த நாய் சொல்லிட்டு கனவுல இருந்து மறைஞ்சிருது. On hearing the loss of his mortar, the old man ran out weeping to the neighbor's house. அழுதுகிட்டே அந்த செய்தி கேட்டோன்னே என்ன செய்யறாரு, ஓடி போறாரு பக்கத்து வீட்டுக்கு. He pleaded them to return the ashes of his mortar. இப்போ அந்த குட் ஓல்டு மேன் என்ன செய்யறாரு, அழுதுகிட்டே போய் விக்குடு மேன் கிட்ட கேட்குறாரு, மார்ட்டரோட ஆஷஸை என்கிட்டயே திருப்பி கொடுத்துருங்க அப்படின்னு. Student, shall I test your listening skill? First question. What did the dog say in the old man's dream? Second question. Who burnt the mortar? Why? Students, I ask a question in Tamil. Good old man கனவுல நாய் என்ன சொன்னுச்சு? செகண்ட் கொஸ்டின், மார்ட்டரை உடைச்சது யாரு, அவங்க ஏன் உடைச்சாங்க? Find out the answer for these two questions. Students, are you able to answer these two questions? Shall we move to the next paragraph? Having obtained it, he returned home and made a trial of their virtues upon a withered cherry tree, which upon being touched by the ashes, immediately began to sprout and blossom. When he saw this wonderful effect, he put the ashes into a basket and went about the country, announcing himself as an old man who had the power of bringing dead trees to life again. Students, meaning now, after getting the ashes, the good old man returned to his home. He made a trial on a dry cherry tree. அவங்க கிட்ட இருந்து சாம்பல் வாங்கிட்டு வந்தோடனே இவர் என்ன செஞ்சாரு, காஞ்சி போன ஒரு செரி ட்ரீ மேல ஒரு ட்ரையல் பார்த்தாரு. Immediately the tree began to sprout and blossom. Sproutனா என்ன, இலை வர்றது. Blossomனா பூ பூக்குறது. சாம்பல் தூவுனவுடனே காஞ்சி போன செரி ட்ரீல என்னாச்சு, இலை வர ஆரம்பிச்சது, பூ பூக்க ஆரம்பிச்சது. On seeing that wonderful reaction, The good old man gathered the ashes and put into the basket and went through the country. அந்த ashes எடுத்துட்டு இவர் என்ன செஞ்சாரு, ஒரு கண்ட்ரிக்கு கிளம்பிட்டாரு. He introduced himself as an old man who had the power to change the dead tree into green trees. அந்த கண்ட்ரிக்கு போய் இவர் என்ன செஞ்சாரு, எனக்கு மேஜிக்கல் பவர் இருக்கு, காஞ்சி போன மரத்தையும் என்னால வளர செய்ய முடியும், பூ பூக்க வைக்க முடியும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி தன்னைய அறிமுகப்படுத்திக்கிட்டாரு. Students, next paragraph. A certain prince, hearing of this and thinking it a mighty strange thing, sent for the old fellow who showed his power by causing all the withered plum and cherry trees to shoot out and put forth flowers. So the prince gave him a rich reward of pieces of silk and cloth and other presents and sent him home rejoicing. Students, meaning now, a prince heard the words of the good old man and called him. Prince na யாரு, இளவரசன். ராஜாவோட பையனை தான் நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்லுவோம், பிரின்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். That the good old man showed his magical power. He changed the dried plum and cherry tree into a fresh green tree with buds and flowers. அங்க போன அந்த ஓல்டு மேன் என்ன செஞ்சாரு, காஞ்சி போன பிளம் ட்ரீயும் செரி ட்ரீயும் புது மரம் போல மாத்தினாரு. கிரீன் கலர்ல நிறைய இலையோடையும் பூக்களோடையும் அந்த மரம் மாறிச்சு. Seeing this, the prince was very happy. He rewarded the old man with silk cloth and some other gifts. The old man went home happily. இத பார்த்த அந்த இளவரசர் என்ன செஞ்சாரு, அந்த ஓல்டு மேனுக்கு நிறைய கிஃப்ட்ஸ் கொடுத்தாரு, சில்க் கிளாத்லாம் கொடுத்தாரு. அதை வாங்கிட்டு அந்த ஓல்டு மேன் வீட்டுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா போனாரு. Students, next paragraph. As soon as the neighbors heard of this, they collected all the ashes that remained, and having put them in a basket, the wicked old man went out into the castle town and gave out that he was the old man who had the power of reviving dead trees and causing them to flourish. He had not to wait long before he was called into the prince's palace and ordered to exhibit his power. Meaning now, the wicked couple heard this strange news. They collected the remaining ashes and put them in a basket and went to the castle town. There he expressed himself as an old man who had the power to give life to dead plants. Immediately he was called by the prince. Now the prince ordered the old man to show his power. குட் ஓல்டு மேனுக்கு நல்லது நடந்து நிறைய பிரைஸ் கிடைச்சது, அதே மாதிரி நமக்கும் நடக்கும் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சிட்டு விக்கெட் கப்பல் என்ன செஞ்சாங்க, மீதமான ஆஷஸ் எடுத்துட்டு போய் டவுனுக்குள்ள சொல்லிக்கிட்டாங்க, எங்ககிட்ட மேஜிக் பவர் இருக்கு, நாங்க செத்து போன மரத்தையும் உயிர் வரவழைப்போம் அப்படின்னு. அதை கேட்ட பிரின்ஸ் என்ன செஞ்சாரு, அவருக்கு முன்னாடி செஞ்சு காமிக்க சொல்லி சொன்னாங்க. But when he climbed up into a withered tree and began to scatter the ashes, not a bud or flower appeared, but the ashes all flew into the prince's eye and mouth, blinding and choking him. When the prince's retainers saw this, they seized the old man and beat him almost to death, so that he travelled off home in a very sorry plight. When he and his wife found out what a trap they had fallen into, they scolded themselves. Students, meaning now, the old man ascended on a withered tree and spread ashes. But his efforts become useless. அந்த wicked old man என்ன செஞ்சாரு? காஞ்சி போன மரத்து மேல ஏறி சாம்பல்ல தூவுனாரு. ஆனா அவரோட முயற்சியெல்லாம் வீணா போயிடுச்சு. Instead of sprouting leaves, the ashes flew into the prince's eyes and mouth. It affected his eyes and created breathing trouble also. அந்த சாம்பல்லாம் என்ன செஞ்சது? பிரின்ஸோட கண்ணில் போய் பட்டுச்சு. அதனால் அவரால் சரியாக பார்க்க முடியல, மூச்சு விடுறதும் சிரமமாக இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ த காட்ஸ் caught the old man and beat him severely. இதை பார்த்து அந்த காவலர்கள் என்ன செஞ்சாங்க? அந்த ஓல்டு மேனை பிடிச்சி அடி செமையாக சாத்துனாங்க. Unable to bear the pain, he traveled to his home. வலி தாங்க முடியாம தட்டு தடுமாறி அந்த ஓல்டு மேன் வீட்டுக்கு போனாரு. After this only they realized their mistakes and scolded themselves. நடந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் நம்ம செஞ்சது தப்புன்றத அவங்க உணர்ந்துட்டாங்க. Students, last paragraph now. The good old man and woman, as soon as they heard of their neighbor's distress, sent for them, and after reproving them for their greed and cruelty, gave them a share of their own riches, which by repeated strokes of luck had now increased to a goodly sum. So the wicked old people mended their ways and led good and virtuous lives ever after. Meaning now, the good old man and woman heard the sufferings of their neighbor. So they called for them. They scolded them for their greed and cruelty. They also shared their wealth with them, which they got by their luck. After this incident, the wicked couple changed their attitude and lead a good life in a right path. விக்கடு கப்பலுக்கு நடந்த துன்பத்தை பற்றி குட் கப்பலுக்கு தெரிய வந்துச்சு. அதை கேட்டு மனமுடைஞ்சு போகிறாங்க நம்ம குட் கப்பல். அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்கள எங்கள் வீட்டுக்கு வாங்கன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. வந்தவங்களுக்கு அறிவுரை சொல்கிறாங்க. நீங்கள் பேராசை பிடிச்ச இருந்ததுனாலையும் மிருகத்தனமாக நடந்துக்கிட்டதுனால தான் உங்களுக்கு இப்படிலாம் நடந்துச்சு. இனிமேல் அப்படி இருக்காதீங்கன்னு அறிவுரை சொன்னாங்க. இவங்கக்கிட்ட இருந்த சொத்துக்களை பாதி அந்த விக்கடு கப்பலுக்கும் கொடுத்தாங்க. அதனால தன்னுடைய தப்பு என்னன்னு உணர்ந்துக்கிட்டாங்க விக்கடு பீப்புள். இனிமேட்டுக்கு அது மாதிரி தவறு நம்ம செய்யக்கூடாதுன்னு முடிவு பண்ணாங்க. ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ், do you understand this story? What did you learn from this story? You should not be jealous about others.